inactivity is a number 2 cause, and poor nutrition is a number 3 cause. I mean, it's that simple.
Okay, well, we know of some people that are, well, inactive because they have it, not obese. What would you recommend for someone who would really like to be more active and is eating right? What would we do?
Well, first of all, I would be on certain vitamins. I would take a good B complex, 100 milligrams, probably 50 milligrams a day at least. I would take CoQ10, 100 milligrams minimum. I like a compound called NAC. It's N-acetylcysteine, but NAC is always on the bottle. And 600 milligrams of that, even once a day, could help immensely with energy and mood, etc., and I think is a good preventive. And eat real food.
Real food.
Real food.
Yeah. Dr. Shealy, when I was a kid, you didn't see that many obese people, and when you did, I always heard this. You had a thyroid problem. This person had a particular thyroid. Now you have so many obese people. It can't be thyroid issue, but if it were a thyroid issue, what do you recommend?
Well, 80% of people are deficient in iodine. And, of course, the whole world has been nuked in the last 60 years. So all of us have had our thyroid damaged to a certain extent. In fact, the thyroid today is about a third the size it was when I was in medical school because of nuclear contamination. First of all, most people are not getting enough iodine. So I think almost everybody will benefit from at least, well, I take one called iodoral.
Yes, I have it.
It's 12.5 milligrams of a good combination of 2 kinds of iodine. And Ring of Fire will help them restart the thyroid gland, stimulation of that, and, of course, exercise.
Now, we've talked about on this program, Dr. Shealy, about Fukushima. It's still a problem. It's still emitting radiation in the air. And it's on the East Coast, verifiable.
And nobody's paying attention to it.
I know. It's amazing. And I would assume that some of that's filtered our way by now. So it's really critical to get some iodine.
The most stupid thing the human race has ever done is produce nuclear energy.
I agree.
We don't know how to control the waste product. Well, and we don't know how to control the source itself.
Well, and I've made the statement right here on this show that nuclear energy ought to be a thing of the past in this country, and here's the reason why. We have multiple nuclear power plants on fault lines all around the country, and when one of those things break open, Dr. Shealy, we are in for a disaster, a nightmare in this country.
I totally agree. I mean, it should be abolished yesterday, and of course, as you know, 2 countries in the world have now abolished it. It's going to take a while, but
Germany and
Italy.
And Italy, right.
And I mean, and here's Italy, which has, usually economically and otherwise is not what you call a top country, but they're smarter than the Americans.
Dr. Shealy, we've got a question from one of our class members, psoriasis.
Now that's an autoimmune disease of the skin.
Right.
D3 deficiency.
D3.
And on that person, I would take maybe for a week or two 50,000 units of vitamin D3 once a day, but then once a week thereafter. And I think I'd take probably 5 milligrams of K2, and they need about 3,000 milligrams of omega-3 fatty acids.
Omega-3.
And they could rub it, if it's not too extensive, they could rub it with some castor oil that would help.
Okay. Wow.
Vinny?
We're going fast, aren't we?
We are.
I can't write this fast.
I tell you what, I could literally sit here and talk to him all day long.
Hey, let's do it. Let's do it as a regular event.
I think he needs to come on more often.
Have to be on a Thursday, right?
We got to take a quick break. I'm sorry. This is Mark Wright. I'm here with Vincent Finelli and Dr. Norm Shealy on USA Prepares. You didn't learn this in school, folks. We'll be right back.
Class is back in session. Turn up the volume. USAPrepares.com with the original survival economist, Vincent Finelli and Mark Wright.
This is USA Prepares, and wow, has this hour gone fast. This is a lot of fun. Vinny sitting here talking with one of my heroes of life, Dr. Norm Shealy. And before we get back to Dr. Shealy, and we got more emails and text, and Doc, you're popular. If I ran you for president, I think we could win. Vinny, we got a couple of events we got to very quick quickly talk about August 6th is the Constitutional Convention at the Andy Williams Moon River Theater down in Branson.
It's going to be a blast.
It's going to be fun. Call 1-800. Is that 666? I guess so. 5094, $15. You might want to change your phone number. Target Barbecue this Saturday, which we're sponsoring.
Yeah.
By the way.
We're going to be there, right?
Yeah, we're going to be there. 5:30, Northview Center there in Doling Park. All the area Republicans will be getting together, so we'll be there. And we can't forget our meetup this Friday at Ziggy's, Vinny.
Is that where we're going to be, Ziggy's?
We've been there the last 2 Fridays. I guess we're going for the trifecta. Let's see if we can get the biggest crowd yet. We've had 2 great crowds out there last Friday. Ziggy's at the corner of Sunshine and Glenstone.
5:30?
5:30 to 7:30. Well, we say 7:30, but I don't think we've left before 8 or 9 yet.
Oh, no. If I get out of there by 10, that's
I know, because all your groupies, man, you got to sign autographs and take pictures. I mean, they're lining up for the original Survival Economist, Doc.
Yeah, and class, if you'd like to get your tickets for the fall edition of the Get Prepared Expo, it's September 9th and 10th at the Downtown Expo Center, Springfield, Mo. Tickets are at usaprepares.com. They're $9, about 35 seminars, all included. usaprepares.com.
And we got a lot of good friends going to show up, including our friends at Missouri Storm Shelters.
Yeah.
Dr. Shealy said he's a big supporter of storm shelters. And
You
Doc,
bet.
you can't get a better storm shelter in America except right down here in Nixa, Missouri Storm Shelters.
I like what I've seen of it.
Yeah, this is the time to discuss storm shelters with your neighbor. We suggest that you consider sharing one with your neighbor. It's the way we do it in our neighborhood. Plan with your neighbor. Decide what to bring inside the shelter: food, water, telephone, flashlights. There's a lot to learn before selecting your storm shelter and safe room.
Well, we got our good friends at Swiss America.
Yeah.
You know, when you talk precious metals, gold and silver, when you see the devaluation of the dollar, you got to think Swiss America. You can give them, just look them up at, you can call them at 1-800-630-1498. And also our good friend from Freeze Dry, freezedryguy.com, will be at the Get Prepared Expo in the fall, too. So if you're thinking about long-term food, think freezedryguy.com.
Yeah, cooked ground beef, cooked chicken, cooked diced beef, beef stew, vegetables, pork chops, eggs, cottage cheese, entrees. The Freeze Dry Guy.
He's a great American, just like our guest today in the studio, Dr. Norm Shealy. I tell you what, I think we could turn off the electricity and Dr. Shealy's energy would light up the bulbs.
Hey, 3 weeks from today, Dr. Shealy will be back. August 11th, we'll be talking about medicine and you.
So get your questions in.
Yeah. Just email us at usaprepares.com.
Or usaprepares@yahoo.com.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I've got some more questions. How about you, Mark?
sure.
Okay.
Well, which one, you first or me first?
Oh, you go first. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm looking here. You know, we also hear a lot about prostate problems today, Doc. I know, especially when you're getting in my age. I'm in my early 40s now. The doctor starts talking about prostate. What do I do?
Saw palmetto, 160 milligram double strength extract, 3 a day for the rest of your life.
Really?
Yeah, that's at the top of my list. Second would be CoQ10. At your age, 100 milligrams would be fine. By 50 or so, you might go to 200 milligrams a day. And don't forget, Mark, if you don't empty the prostate, it gets stale.
Right.
So, among other things, you need to empty it at least twice a week. That's minimum.
Seriously. So,
Yep.
Sexual health is really important.
Sexual health is crucially important. And then adequate exercise. If you do those things, the chances are you're going to be okay.
You want me to write you a note for that?
Yeah. Can you send that over to my wife? I hope she's listening today, honey. Oh, gracious.
How about asthma, Dr. Shealy? What are your thoughts on treating asthma?
Well, first thing is I would avoid wheat as if it was a plague. Gluten is one of the great contributors to that. Now, if that isn't enough, the other foods that are most likely to cause a problem are milk, eggs, citrus, and corn. So you have to just go off those and try it. Of course, the other thing that I would do in that situation is D3, the immune system. 50,000 units once a week, vitamin K, 200 micrograms every day.
D3,
50,000
50K.
once a week.
That's 50K milligrams?
Units.
Units, okay.
And K2 100 micrograms every day.
200, you say?
Well, that would be fine. 100 minimum.
Okay, 100 micrograms.
Right.
MCG.
And then there's one where I would do the Ring of Fire.
Ring of Fire.
I'm sorry. Wrong. It'd be okay. But the Ring of Air is another of these circuits in the body that balances the normal mechanism.
Is that on your DVD?
And that's another DVD, $10, 888-242-6105. You know, it's just, these are the kinds of things. Now, in the long run, everybody would benefit with any kind of illness by practicing something called autogenic training, AUTOGENIC training. It's the single most researched self-regulation tool in the world. As 1969, there were 2,600 references on it. And it improves health. It takes about 6 weeks of daily work. And again, they could go to my website and look up my newsletter. In the archives, I've got 5 years of newsletters. And just look up autogenic training. It'll tell them how to do it.
Now, Doc, do you have an office? I know you had the Institute there for a while.
You know why I don't have
Why?
that office anymore? When I decided to close out my clinical practice and just focus on research, it was because the electromagnetic energy in the background in this city is now 2.5, well, that's just 10 years ago, 2.5 to 3 milligauss. And so that's why I sold the building and moved to the farm. Because 3 milligauss of electromagnetic energy, and I'm sure we're getting about 10 in here, is not good for your brain.
Very interesting. Dr. Shealy, when I built our farmhouse, I wrapped all of our Romex cable in steel.
Smart guy.
And I also painted all the sheetrock that had electrical cables of any kind with copper dust. I mixed copper dust, micro. It's going to break my hand. He's shaking my hand again.
Oh dear! No, my
Jeez, all that hurts.
I love it. That's wonderful.
Well,
because
I found 5 pounds of copper dust on eBay, and it's very, very fine. It's so
I'm
fine.
sure.
It's like the
you're
consistency
living
of-
in a Faraday cage.
I am.
I love it.
Yeah. So I painted all with the primer, and I knew where the wiring was because we installed all our wiring ourselves. And I did not want my head to be parallel or close to the wiring, where the headboard is. And it's in every house. Every headboard in every bedroom has got wire right next to it. By code, the National Electric Code says you have to have an outlet every 6 feet. So you've got wire running right by your head, 8 hours a day.
Yep. I have a Gauss meter. I play with it all the time to be sure that something hasn't crept in.
You know, Dr. Shealy, Vinny is very receptive to any type of electromagnetic pulses from his phone or from anything. If we're driving down the street, he's very I'm not as sensitive for whatever reason, but he's very sensitive to it.
Well, a lot of
it
people
is an
are.
issue.
In fact, there's a disease I call electromagnetic dysthymia, in which people, get exquisitely sensitive to everything, and they become allergic. And he obviously doesn't have that serious.
I get a massive headache. If I'm near a cell phone, I cannot use a cell phone next to my head. I have to use it on speakerphone where I hold the phone a couple feet away.
Right.
Typically what I do is I use an earbud that's wired.
Now, there is a product you might ought to look at. It's called a Clarus, Clarus, Q pendant. And I did a study on that, 15 years ago, and it protects the brain from 50 milligauss of electromagnetic energy.
Really?
You wear it around your neck, and it's the only thing that's been scientifically studied that I know of that can help.
So it's an antenna?
It's an antenna that's designed to block or absorb that stuff.
And that was a thought I had about the bees. I wonder if the wavelength of cell phones is the same length as the bees. I don't know what the portion of their body is, but could it be affecting them?
I think there's no question the excess of electromagnetic energy that's been created in the last 20 years certainly could be a part of it.
So you may be a proponent of these cell phones potentially causing cancer of the brain?
Oh, I don't think there's any question that the incidence of brain cancer's doubled in the last 25 years.
It has. Why? I mean, obviously,
and leukemia. Those two together seem to be the two that are particularly sensitive to electromagnetic energy. And the incidence of benign tumors, they're not benign if you have to have them surgically removed, on the hearing nerve is 4 times as great on the ear where you use your phone all the time as it is in the general population who's not using those.
What about carrying a cell phone in your pocket with causing birth defects from the electromagnetic radiation?
There's some evidence to support that idea. I don't know if it's turned off if it's bad. There's some people think it is. I haven't seen any proof that turning it off. I don't carry one turned on. I turn mine on if I have to make a call, but I don't make calls if I don't have to.
Love it. Love it. I had to try 3 separate cell phones in order to find one that I could live with.
Sure.
Literally. And you saw me do that, Mark.
I did.
Everybody
I did.
thought I was crazy.
Yeah. Well, Dr. Shealy, thank you